To watch the full lecture of all subjects, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon because whenever I post the new videos, you will get the immediate notifications. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. From this particular video, we'll be starting a new subject, that is income tax law and practice. So in this particular subject, that is income tax subjects, there are totally 5 chapters. In that, from this video, we'll be dealing with the first chapter, that is basic concepts of income tax. So in this chapter, it is mostly the theory chapter, but easy theory, and you'll have only little problems. So in this particular video, that is part 1, I'll be touching the introduction part of this particular chapter. Now, basically, what is the meaning of tax? Now, if you see my slides, the tax is a compulsory contribution made by the citizen of a nation to meet various expenditure of the government. So if you just observe the slide, I have made 3 words, I have highlighted 3 words. First one is the compulsory contribution, the second one is citizen of nation, and third one is meet various expenditure. Now, the people may ask question, why we need to pay the tax to the government? That question comes to us, right? Why we need to pay the tax? Now, what happens? Government, it is providing us too many services, isn't it? Now, the government is providing security for the nation, for which it requires defense. So the government is providing water facility, the government is providing electricity facility, the government is constructing the roads, isn't it? It is giving all facilities. Leave about this water, roads and electricity. Mainly, the government is giving the military security to our nation. So if any war attacks happen, the soldiers who are guarding the nation, they will protect us. If we are living happily, then because of the soldiers who are protecting our nation. Now, they need to give salary to the soldiers. They should take care of their accommodation. They should take care of the food. They should have a strong military force. So for that, the government needs the money, isn't it? Without money, we cannot run all these things. So to collect that money, the government has come up with the idea of tax. So whatever the tax we pay for the government, using that money, or we can call it as a revenue, tax revenue, the government will try to develop the nation. Now, if you see here, the first one is compulsory contribution. What is this compulsory contribution? Compulsory means everyone has to do it. Nobody can escape from that. If a person is liable to pay the tax, then he should definitely pay the tax. Nobody can escape from that. Compulsory contribution andre ಕಟ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. Next, he made by the citizen of nation. So who will pay the tax? The tax will be paid by the citizen of India nation. Our nation is India. So whatever the amount paid as a tax will be used to meet various expenditure. Whatever the taxes the one person pays to the government, using that tax amount, the government will meet the various expenditures. This is the meaning of tax. Next is types of taxes. So in India, we are having 2 types of taxes. So what are those 2 types of taxes? One is the direct tax and second one is the indirect tax. So ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ರೀತಿಯ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು indirect tax system. Now let us see what is the meaning of direct tax. So the incidence and impact is on the same person. The incidence and impact on the same person. So what is the meaning of incidence? Incidence means liability. Impact means the burden of paying tax. Liability to pay the tax and impact means you are paying the tax. The incidence and impact is on the same person. Now let us try to understand this particular statement by taking up an example. Now here there is a Mr. X. He is a citizen of the India. Next, here on the other party It is government. So government is there on the other side, and on one side we have Mr. X. He is a person. So in my future slides, I'll tell you what is the meaning of person. So now Mr. X, he has the liability to pay the tax of 20,000. So Mr. X has to pay 20,000 rupees tax for whatever the income he has earned to the government. Illi Mr. X 20,000 tax na government ಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Now who has the liability to pay the tax? ಯಾರ್ tax ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು? Mr. X. So that is incidence. Incidence means what? Incidence means liability. Incidence is nothing but liability. Means he has a liability to pay the tax. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ liability ಇದೆ tax ನ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. What is the impact? Who will pay the tax? Mr. X only has to pay the tax. So he is gonna pay the tax. ಈಗ Mr. X has a wife, you think. Wife is wife. Will his wife pay tax on behalf of Mr. X? No. Mr. X has earned the income, so he need to pay the tax of his own. So the incidence and impact, the liability to pay the tax and the person who is going to pay the tax is the same. So whatever definition says, the incidence and the impact is on the same person. Here X is only earned the income and X will only pay the tax. ಈಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವೈಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ನ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್? You should remember this particular line. The incidence and the impact is on the same person. So hope you have understood about the direct tax. Now you may ask me, what is indirect tax? So indirect tax means the incidence and the impact is on two different person. Now let us try to understand this particular statement by taking up an example. Now one side we are having government, okay. Next here we are having manufacture. Some person has manufactured, and here we have consumer. So there are three different persons. One is the government, second one is the manufacturer, and third one is the consumer. Now manufacturer fan, okay, he will sell it to the consumer. So here he is selling it to the consumer. Manufacturer ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Now the value of fan is, let us think it is 20,000, and let us assume that tax is 10%. So the tax, how much he need to pay? It is 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees tax he need to pay to the government. So who need to pay the tax? Manufacturer has a liability. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ದ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಟು ಪೇ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. Incidence is on the part of manufacturer. Incidence is on the part of manufacturer. But who is going to pay the tax? Will manufacturer pay the tax directly to the government? No. He will make his consumer pay the tax. So what he will do? Instead of selling the fan at 20,000, he will sell the fan at 22,000. So the burden to pay tax. So here impact means what? The burden of paying the tax is on the consumer. So the consumer will pay the tax. So who is having the burden? Consumer is having the burden. So the impact is on the consumer. So here if you can see that the incidence is on the part of manufacturer and impact is on the part of consumer. So what does the indirect tax mean? The incidence and impact is on the two different person. So here also manufacturer is having the incidence and impact is on the consumer. So two different persons have been involved. So this is the meaning of indirect tax. Next, what is assessment? Now, for example, you have written an exam for 50 marks. Let us assume that you have written a paper for 50 marks. You will submit your paper to the teacher, and teacher evaluates. What she will evaluate? She will evaluate which are the correct answers you have written and which are the wrong answers you have written. And for correct answers, how much marks you should get, she will allot the marks. This is known as assessment. Similarly, in the income tax. So for example, you are earning an income of 5 lakh per annum. So let us think that per annum. Annum means for 1 year, you are earning the income for 5 lakh. So it doesn't mean that you have to pay the tax on this 5 lakh. There are certain exemptions. Exemptions will be there. So regarding this exemptions, I'll be doing another video. Now just have an idea in your mind that there is something called as exemption. Now we need to know how much tax you need to pay, isn't it? If you have a commerce background, you can easily know. But let us think that a person is a doctor, a person is an engineer. Okay, he should know that how much tax he need to pay. So the process of knowing how much tax he need to pay is known as assessment. So the assessment is a computation of taxable income. Now it is a process of computation of taxable income. Computation means what? You are finding out, that is assessing. You are finding out what is the taxable income and the tax liability. So here two different terms you have to observe. One is taxable income and one more is tax liability. Now let us take an example. Mr. A is earning an income of 5 lakh. Okay, yeah, is earning an income of 5 lakh. Now in the income tax, there is a concept of deductions and exemptions. Deductions ಮತ್ತೆ exemptions ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು topic ಇದೆ. So let us think there's a deductions of 20,000 and exemption of 10,000. Now if you subtract this 20,000 and 10,000 from 5 lakh, I think we will get 4 lakh 70,000. So this is the income earned. So earned income. He has earned certain income, but 4 lakh 70,000 is taxable income. So we should charge the income tax rate not on 5 lakh rupees but on 4 lakh 70,000. So this is taxable income. Now let us think there is a 10% tax, which is nothing but 47,000, isn't it? So I'm assuming it, but tax rate will be different. Just for giving the example, I'm assuming it as a 10% tax rate. So I need to subtract this 47,000 from 4 lakh 7,000. So 4 lakh 70,000, sorry. So when I subtract 47,000 from 4 lakh 70,000, I will get 4 lakh 23,000. So here, what is this 47,000? This 47,000 is the tax liability. Means Mr. A has to pay this 47,000 to the government. So you understood what is taxable income and tax liability. So computation means finding out how much is my taxable income and what is the tax liability I need to pay as per the Income Tax Act. That process is known as assessment. ನಮ್ಮ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಬಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿಯೋ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Next, assessment year. Now we got to know what is assessment. Means it's a process of calculating how much tax you need to pay. Now assessment year is an year in which you will calculate how much tax you need to pay. So it is a period of 12 months. So in one assessment year there will be 12 months. It will start from 1st April and ends at 31st March. As usual, you know, assessment year ಅಲ್ಲಿ 12 months ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 1st April ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ 31st March ತನಕ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So this is very important line. Please focus on this. the income of the previous year is assessed to the tax in the assessment year. So previous year ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. There is a concept of previous year. Previous year means what? I'll tell in the next slide. So whatever the income earned, so you have earned certain income earned in the previous year. In previous year you have earned the income. For that you will pay the tax in assessment year. So don't get confused. Whatever the income you have earned in the previous year, that all income will be calculated in the assessment year and you have to pay the tax in assessment year. Now which is our current assessment year? Can anybody answer? You can put the answer in comment box. Which is the present assessment year? Yes, our present assessment year is 2023 to 24. Means current assessment we are starting from 1st April 2023 and our current assessment year ends at 31st March 2024. So this is assessment year. Just remember this one diagram. Whatever the income we have earned in previous year, we will pay the tax in the assessment year. Previous year ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. Now then what is previous year? So previous year, same, it is also having 12 months and it will also start from 1st April to 31st March. So it is a financial year immediately preceding the assessment year. The year preceding the assessment year. Now don't get confused. Look here. Now for example, let us take our assessment year is 2023 to 24. Preceding year means 1 year before, means 2022 to 2023. So this is known as previous year. So whatever the income you have earned in this 2022-23, that is previous year, for that you will calculate the tax and you will pay the tax in assessment year. Previous year ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ನಾವು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ತೇವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಸೀಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಸೊ 1 year before the assessment year is known as previous year. Now which is our present previous year? Yes, it is 2022 to 2023 because our assessment year is 2023 to 2024, 1 year before. So it will be 2022 to 2023. So what is the basic difference between previous year and assessment year? Means in previous year you have earned the income. So whatever the income you have earned in the previous year, you will pay the tax in assessment year. So the assessment year, the income of previous year is taxed. This is the basic difference between previous year as well as assessment year. So hope you have understood about this introduction part very well. If you have any doubts or queries, please post your queries in the comment box. So we'll try to respond to your queries as soon as possible. Thank you for watching my video. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon, because whenever I post some new lectures, you will get the immediate notification. Thank you for watching the video. Let us meet in the next video.
If you have any queries regarding today's session, kindly send your queries to education.mbroadcast@gmail.com.